tighten up those belts. The wick just got turned up. Welcome to the nasty track of the North. If you think it can't get any hotter, think again. It's the FX Caprara Summer Sizzler, and it's live on Rush Hour.
Dirt tracking, born in the cornfields and lower 40s of rural America. Dirt tracking, the cornerstone of racing. The early barnstormers put it all on the line to satisfy their thirst for speed. Now, their great-grandchildren carry the torch with the same spirit and thirst. 700 horsepower rips the earth. For 1 hour, nothing else matters. It'll raise the hair on the back of your neck. Rush Hour on Dirt.
We are live just 10 miles south of the Canadian border at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville, New York, as Lapco presents the FX Caprara Car Company's Summer Sizzler. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Doug Logan. Welcome to Rush Hour. What is your definition of heat? Well, earlier today here in northern New York, the thermometer peaked out at a sizzling 92 degrees. As for our dirt-modified speedsters, that heat is compounded on the track in the heat of competition. Joining me is Dirt Motorsports racing analyst Gary Montgomery. And Gary, no doubt about it, the Skull Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series is wicked hot.
It is hot. When you're winning, things are cool, but when you're losing, it's hot. And most drivers lose more than they win. 29 losers, 1 winner. These guys have been on the road more than they've been at home for the past several weeks. That adds to the heat as well. Humidity is a factor. The race cars, they're all trying to win. We're halfway through the season. If they haven't won, the pressure's really on. We've got a lot of guys that haven't yet won. So heat is on, as you say. The temperature isn't helping things, but we got a lot of hot racing here tonight, too.
Now, how hot is the competition on the Skull Series? We'll take a look at this incident just 2 nights ago at Brockville, Ontario, involving the number 6 of Danny Johnson and the number 20 of Brett Hearn.
Hearn is in the red and yellow car. Danny's in the red and white one. Here they go. Danny down the back straightaway makes a move on the inside. Oh, my goodness. Almost got the thing in the air. Got it in the air. Almost went over. Hearn slides to the infield. Danny continues on, and he won it. There's the tire marks on the side of the small block car. Now, that's the red and yellow car that Hearn uses in the 358 division. This was a 358 race in Brockville.
And there's Danny Johnson up and over Brett the Jet. Well, so then 2 nights ago, it was Danny Johnson and Brett Hearn. 1 week ago, it was Danny Johnson and Bob McCready colliding not once, but twice at Brewerton Speedway during rush hour. What's going on? Well, our cowboy Paul Small may have the answer. He's down in the pits with our points leader, Brett Hearn.
It's summer. 'Tis the season for thunder and lightning, and we've certainly seen some rumbling and sparks on the racetrack, especially on Tuesday night. And Brett Hearn, you were in the center of it all. What happened?
Well, you know, I think the tape pretty much explains what happened. It's unfortunate for us in the Auto Palace team because the fact of the matter was that we came from 15th just to get the lead. We had the thing with 5 to go, and you know, I made the mistake of just leaving the bottom just a little bit too open for the 6 car to get alongside of me. And what he did, he made a right-hand turn and climbed up my rub rail, and I ended up with the short end of that stick. So, I mean, we've taken our turn, and he's taken his, and it'll come around again.
The points battle is so tight on the Skull Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series this year. That combined with the oppressive heat we have here in this part of the country in the summertime, how much more intense does that make things on the racetrack?
Well, every lap of every race is so important, and every position of every race is so important. And, you know, that's why you've got to take one race at a time and just go out there and fight for every position you can get.
Now, Brett Hearn earlier in the draw for starting positions mentioned the fact that he was very relaxed. That's kind of amazing considering what's happened to him in the past 72 hours, guys.
Oh, boy, Gary, we're looking forward to seeing Brett Hearn and Danny Johnson side by side for the start of this one. Let's take a look at the Skull Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series point picture. And remember, 5 times in the last 7 seasons, the driver leading the Skull points after 10 events has gone on to win the championship.
Look at that, 1 through 4. Hearn, McCready, Danny Johnson, Jimmy Horton. There's just a 40-point separation in those top 4. Jack Johnson rides in 5. Alan Johnson is in 6. Back in 7, Steve Payne, Tim McCready, Doug Fuller is in there, Billy Decker. I think that was 51 points separating 5 through 12. So we had 30 points to the top 4. That's one group. The next group, just a 51-point separation, 5 through 12. Very, very close.
Yes, and of course, as we turn the page on the halfway mark of this Skoal Racing Series, the heat is indeed on. A new edition of our Rush Hour live broadcast, the introduction of our Internet Question of the Week. At the beginning of every telecast, we'll be telling viewers at home where to turn on the Dirt homepage to find a question related to the host track and upcoming main events. Right now, fire up your computer. Log into the Dirt Motorsports cyberspace network at www.dirtmotorsports.com. Then click on the television selection and find tonight's question of the week. We'll have the winner a little bit later in the broadcast. We had thousands of inquiries and guesses last week, I should say, in our first Internet Question of the Week. So log on. We are live at Can-Am Speedway, and our coverage of the FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler on Rush Hour will continue after these messages on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Rush Hour on Dirt is brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beers, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tire, Sunoco A-Plus Mini Market, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros. CarQuest.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top-quality Champion spark plugs from CarQuest, Champion gets your engine started fast and running its best. No matter what you drive, Champion keeps you fired up and in the game. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Think you're tough? Yeah! Think you're tough?
Yes, sir!
Are you tough? Tough enough to take the Tough Oil Challenge? Only Tough Oil's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most efficient lubricant. Tough Oil reduces the surface friction in your car's engine, so you keep going and going. The competition? They're left in their own smoke. Are you up to the Tough Oil Challenge? Nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
Now, the most difficult shots in golf are easy to make with the Alien Ultimate Wedge. You'll be out in one swing, guaranteed.
I don't care how high a handicapper you are or how little you play. You'll get out of the sand on your very first swing or your money back.
Over 60% of all shots are taken within a short distance of the pin. The Alien Ultimate Wedge's triple radius design gets you out of the sand, out of the deep rough, even off hard pan. You don't need a new swing, a new stance, or a sports psychologist. All you need to get on the green is the Alien Ultimate Wedge. Call now for your free video and brochure and find out how you can get this revolutionary club in your bag.
If you live for golf and want to save strokes, pick up the phone right now and order your Alien Wedge. I guarantee you'll be glad you did.
The Alien Ultimate Wedge.
There's a long one.
One swing, and you're out of there.
Right on it. All right.
Guaranteed.
We are live at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville, New York, for the FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler. Well, things certainly have been sizzling on the dirt circuit these days. The racing has been absolutely incredible. For all the action, here's Cowboys Racing Roundup.
Let's roll with the battle of living legends at the New Fonda Speedway. Jumpin' Jack Johnson in the Dutchess 87, going for his 12th track title and 5-time track title. Stayed late from the Burroughs 22. Power moves by Jack, and then when Jack tries to say, "Squeeze me" on the inside, Davey says, "I don't think so." But sometimes you just can't stop the master of the track of champions. Jumpin' Jack did find a way by. He got the lead and the win Saturday night at Fonda. But in the point standing, Mike Romano is still clinging to the lead. Remember last Sunday in Cayuga County when Barefoot Bob and the Hurricane Steve Payne had this get-together? Well, they raced clean as a whistle this past Sunday night. As a matter of fact, Barefoot Bob whistled right by Payne and everybody else en route to a victory on the high bank Sunday night. In the point standings, Joe Plazek is holding on, but McCready is closing in quickly. Lebanon Valley Speedway is rapidly becoming Brett Hearn's new house. Check this out. He avoids this tangle between John Hewitt and Billy Decker to improve position during the feature. Then he pulls his favorite move on the outside of turns 1 and 2. Up on the top of the bank, dancing by the wall, down across the bank, and he says, see ya for the 6th time. Canandaigua, whoever said 1 was the loneliest number was full of it. Bobby Varon has 3 of them on the side of his car, and he got win number 1 of his career at the Land of Legends Saturday night. And at Orange County Fair Speedway, Kensington Manor kicked 10 grand into the purse, and Tim Heinley said, thanks, guys. He got his first ever big block win. He's 3rd in points behind a tie between Dr. J and Jeff Hetzler. Brewers in Friday night. Scotty Prentice says, the fast lane forest behind me, guys. Win number 4 for Scotty Prentice on the dirt circuit. Round up. Last Thursday at Brewerton, somebody forgot to tell Jimmy Horton that breakdancing went out of style a while ago. But they did repair the M1, and he got his 5th win of the year in the 50 lap for Saturday at Bridgeport. Susquehanna was a good doubling up for Craig Von Doren, his 2nd consecutive Saturday night win. Can-Am Speedway in Watertown. This is starting to turn into Leadfoot Tim McCready's house. He smoked him again in the Drake Subs 94 Saturday night.
That was in a 358 modified that Tim McCready got the win Saturday night here at Can-Am. Tonight, Tim, you're in a big block. How special would it be for you to win a big block race here at this racetrack?
Oh, you know, everybody wants to win in front of their hometown, and for the Jeff Gordon Power All Team Toro with Beachy Motorsports, I mean, we'd be really happy to win it. If we don't, we'd like to get a top 10 and just keep rolling along like we have been lately.
You got to be really excited with just a 1.5 years experience in the modified division to be doing as well as you're doing right now.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Randy Kosaki and everybody's working hard on the team, and our small block team with the direct subs is our main sponsor, and Syracuse Frame Service, Morrison Power Plants. I mean, we've all been working hard, and it's been steamrolling as we've gone along, and we just can't help but smile because we're pretty proud about what we've been doing lately.
Now, the Can-Am Speedway has been a launching pad for 358 modified drivers to become big block stars. You might know a guy by the name of Barefoot Bob that happens to be Tim's father that did that, and Tim Fuller has also done that, a former Mr. Dirt 358 who's got a couple of big block wins under his belt. And I can imagine you've got a lot of ties to this racetrack. A win tonight would be really sweet.
Yeah, it would. You know, it's a big choice on the tires, but the Olsen prepared CarQuest number 19, you know, it's been running real good, and you know, we've got some time on this track, so we'll just give it a shot. We went with softs, and a lot of the other guys went with the hards. So
you've got so many laps on this racetrack. Does that give you any additional advantage coming into a race like this?
Well, it gives a little bit of an advantage, but when you got these 10 or 12 school guys, you know, Danny Johnson, Bob McCready, Brett Hearn, I mean, these guys are so good, and you know, they're going to shine here tonight.
You know, Tim Fuller and Tim McCready have something in common. They happen to be competitors and the best of friends. Last week during the Rush Hour program, Tim Fuller borrowed Tim McCready's small block car, started last, and finished 5th.
Thank you, Cowboy. Well, Gary, can a local young lion win here tonight?
I don't know, but McCready certainly has a shot at it, as does Fuller. McCready, what they didn't tell you is he was upside down the week before, so he's been on all sides of it here in the early season at Can-Am.
Lapco Promotions at Can-Am, 16 special events in 10 seasons, 10 different winners, 4 by Can-Am regulars.
Patty O'Brien, he's a strong driver in the field tonight. They're all there except Buzzy Rudiman, who's now retired. He's helping his son David. Danny O'Brien isn't here as well. So we've got this Patty O'Brien, who's a 6-time champion at this racetrack, and Billy Gill in the field here tonight.
We have an absolutely magnificent crowd, a huge crowd on hand here at Can-Am Speedway, and our Rush Hour banner contest continues to grow in popularity on all the Rush Hour shows. Tonight's winner, Lindsay Sykes, and Lindsay is now eligible for the year-end grand prize of $1,000. We are live at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway, a beautiful night for racing. And our coverage of the FX Caprara Car Company's Summer Sizzler will continue on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
The famous FX Caprara name is not only noticed on many quarter panels throughout the dirt circuit, but here in Northern New York, folks, FX Caprara is definitely #1. With over 13 new car franchises, we sell brand new Chevys and Olds, Buick, Geos, Chrysler, Plymouth, Volkswagens, Dodge trucks, Jeep Eagle, and we're just a toll-free number away no matter where you live. Give us a call at 1-800-437-1334 or drive up to the showroom of your choice at the FX Caprara Superstores.
A-Plus Mini Market, your 24-hour ticket to convenience.
Now every 10-ounce, every 16-ounce, and every 20-ounce cup of Colombian coffee is just 79 cents at participating A-Plus and A-Plus Express stores, where one price fits all.
Over 3,000 items. A-Plus Mini Market, 24-hour convenience. Your store, plus more.
The real difference between Buick LeSabre and Mercury Grand Marquis? LeSabre gives you more horsepower, better fuel economy, no extra charge for anti-lock brakes, and the safety of front-wheel drive, all for hundreds less. LeSabre, now with $1,500 cash back or 2.9 financing. Lease LeSabre for only $299 a month. You get more car for less money. LeSabre, still America's best-selling full-size car.
Is this team for real? You gotta believe it. Yeah, this team's for real. The wheels keep rolling with Thunder Road Thursday. Stay tuned for more fast-paced action right here, only on Sports Channel.
We are live at Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville, New York. And we're set for the FX Caprara Car Company's Summer Sizzler. 97 laps as we take a look at our race analysis. There'll be 26 cars in the starting grid. Total purse $30,000, $6,000 to win, and the first 25 laps of caution do not count. And the last 3 will not count either because we will finish under the green. As for the weather, well, we dodged the clouds and the raindrops. Temperature now cooling off a bit before the action heats up. 72 degrees, humidity still 63%. Winds, well, pretty light and variable. There's very little chance for showers. As for the track description, Gary?
It's a half-mile clay oval, but it's the biggest half-mile I've ever seen. Straightaway's 570 feet long, 8 degrees of banking in the corners. It's a very, very different clay, very fast racetrack.
Let's talk about the track condition down to Cowboy Paul Small.
Well, you know, the past couple of weeks here on Rush Hour, we've had some incredibly tacky and heavy racing conditions. Tonight, we've done a complete 180-degree turn. Case in point. Take a look at how hard this racing surface is. This knife won't even go down except maybe a 1/16 of an inch. The top of the racetrack is very hard and slick. It may turn abrasive, and that could be good for the teams that are running the dirt hard tires this evening. But half the field has elected to go on the soft tires with the cooler temperatures. So tonight is going to be a real guessing game. Dr. J. Danny Johnson is in the thick of the points on the Skull Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series. And Danny, you have proven that you will do whatever you need to do to win races and stay up there in the points battle.
Yeah, we're going to give it our best shot. You know, I got to thank the team for giving me an excellent car. And, you know, the track is hard, but we'd like to go with the soft tires. We're going to give it our best shot and see what happens.
Do you think those soft tires will last the 97 laps and the cool temperatures, or will they start to burn away during the race?
I think so. You know, it's a gamble either way you go, and, you know, we're going to gamble with the sauce.
Well, Danny Johnson has rolled the dice a couple of times this year and come up aces. Let's see how he does tonight, Doug.
He normally does come up aces. 12 times in his career, DJ has finished in the top 5 of the Skull points. That's more than any other driver, the Dr. Danny Johnson. Well, let's take a look. Yes.
He's also won 15 times this year, 10 in the big small blocks, 5 in the big blocks.
All right, let's take a look at the starting grid, and we start, of course, with the Rush Hour pace truck provided by Samdell Dodge. Samdell Dodge Dakota out of downtown Syracuse. The starting lineup of our FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler on the pole. 4-time Skull champion Jack Johnson. And outside row 1, he won this race 2 times. The Hurricane, Steve Payne.
Second row on the inside is young Timmy Fuller out of Edwards, New York, in the CarQuest number 19, alongside Jimmy Horton. You saw him upside down and fifth last week in the Bauhaus number M1.
Row 3, he won here last Saturday night. He's quite a crowd favorite. Young Tim McCready, and outside the 33 of Jeff Hetzler.
Row number 4 on the inside, Alan Johnson, AJ Slideways in the Bomar 12B. Alongside is the defending school champion, Doug Hoffman, in the Blockbuster number 1.
Our power-packed and highly volatile row 5. Inside, 6-time Skoal champion Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3. And outside, looking for his first win in this race, the number 6 of Danny Johnson.
Starting 11th in the field tonight is Alain Bavard. He's a bilingual auctioneer by trade, a weekend warrior. Alongside is Bobby Barron, who won his first at Canandaigua just last Saturday night. It is Tanner, number 111.
On to row 7, the veteran Pat Ward and Billy Wilcox.
Inside of row number 8 is the 6-time track champion here, second-generation driver Patty O'Brien. He's in the Sheldon McGuee Computer Sense number 1 tonight. Billy Decker's alongside in the Pennzoil number 91.
Driving Vic Coffey's backup car, row 9, the 32F Frank Cozy, and outside the 60 of Bill Gill.
And in row number 10 on the inside is Vic Coffey out of Leicester, New York. He was last year's Dirt Rookie of the Year in the Modified Division. Alongside is Jeff Sykes. He's a 2-time winner at this track this year.
On to row 11, it's Kenny Tremont and Dave Camara.
Row number 12 on the inside, starting 23rd will be a local favorite, Steve Roberts. He's in a Sunny Moody's Sunny's Farm Market, number 88. Jim Darrow from Calcium nearby is in the Fast Loop, number 27 Toyota car.
And finally, row 13, Tim Dwyer, and outside the number 9 of Bob McCready. And what's the story with Bob?
Well, Bob did not qualify in his heat, didn't even come out for the consolation, so he goes to the back, and this is the race that he won last year. Local favorite Bob McCready, who doesn't race here on a regular basis, comes from the back.
Here comes the field on a turn 4. Starter Chip Burdick waves the green flag. We are underway with the FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler. Jack Johnson down low on the inside. Outside, it's the Hurricane Steve Payne. It's a drag race down the backstretch.
Drag race, but it's the Hurricane Steve Payne who puts the Janelle Corp Pabst Blue Ribbon number 7X at the head of the class. Behind him is Jack Johnson. You see him jostling for position 3 and 4 wide as they come out of turn 4 and down the front straight to complete lap 1. It is Steve Payne out front.
Good battle for the lead. Tim Fuller is in 3rd place, but there is your leader, Steve Payne. There is Fuller, and then the M1 of Jimmy Horton.
And there comes Timmy McCready challenging on the inside. Jack Johnson comes to the outside. He was going to try to pass on the bottom, but he goes to the top of the racetrack. It is the 7X of Steve Payne now falling back as the outside pass for Jack Johnson worked.
So Jack Johnson has the lead as we take a look at the battle for 3rd position. Tim Fuller and Jimmy Horton, and Horton is down low.
Horton in his backup car, as he told us earlier, the car that he took out of the trailer and ran last week at Brewerton after he flipped in the qualifier. He tries to run down Timmy Fuller. Fuller on the outside. There's Jeff Hetzler poking his nose right down the middle. The Smitty's Reclamation car with Hetzler comes to 4 as Fuller falls back to 5. Horton comes to 3. Jimmy Horton, who just turned 41 years old a couple of weeks ago. The Bob and Michelle Faust M1 takes over 3. There's Hetzler in the Bernie Smith Reclamation car in 4. Fuller runs in 5. There's a 3-wide shot, and Doug Hoffman comes out in the middle in the Blockbuster video. Mike and Ike's car. That's the battle for 5, and Hoffman will take the spot as he slides by on the inside of Fuller. So Doug Hoffman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Blockbuster video Toyer car.
Nice power move by our defending Skoal champion. Now he works on Jeff Hetzler down the front straightaway. They go into turn number 1, and again Hoffman is trying it down low.
Also showing in the screen there was the red number 12B. That's AJ Slideways Alan Johnson as he tries to break into the top 5. Out front is Jack Johnson showing the way. Here we go. There's a good shot. Alan moves on the bottom of the racetrack in the 12B. Bird shows on the screen as well. They're all bypassing Timmy Fuller in the car class number 19.
And these cars literally fly down the front straightaway. Now on the backstretch. Here we go back to a battle further back in the pack. It's for 5th now between Alan Johnson and Brett Hearn.
Hearn looks to the inside. This is Alan's brother, or Danny's brother, I should say, Alan Johnson. I think Hearn's worried about the brother relationship right now. He's just trying to pick up a spot. He'll try to run down Alan, who's driving the Jim Bobar, number 12B. That is position 6 and 7 as they race down the back straightaway. We are on lap number 7.
97 laps this event here this evening at Can-Am Speedway.
the number 4 position. Hetzler's in 4. Hoffman is in 5. Leader still continues to be Jack Johnson. Following him is Steve Payne. And then we've got
there is Bob McCready in the number 9. He's 14th and looking to make a move into 13th position. Bob McCready on the move here at Can-Am Speedway, and we expected it.
An incredible. He's one superstitious guy.
Well, Bob McCready won this event last year, and he would like so desperately to show well once again. He talked about getting a monkey off his back last year.
Yeah, he got the monkey off his back, and I talked to him earlier today, and he said this is the most pressure-packed race that he runs all season long. All of his friends and family from nearby Watertown want to join him here, and they don't expect him to do so well because he goes off and races other places and wins, and his luck hasn't been that great here.
A battle in the top 10, 8, 9, and 10. Danny Johnson, the number 6, leads in that number 8 position.
Then it's Timmy Fuller and Timmy McCready. Fuller in the 19, McCready in the 24. The Jeff Gordon Power Outlet Bicknell chassis car.
Fuller tries to close just a bit, but he's been falling back.
Yeah, he's got a problem now. I think they told us at the end of the program that he'd gone with the hard tires, and that would be a factor at this point. Those tires not heating up and not working, sticking quite as well as the soft tires. Danny Johnson telling us that it was a gamble. We'll see how that all works out. Danny again is on soft tires. But Timmy McCready, what an impressive young driver. Now, many of these drivers worked on their cars all day. Tim McCready went off and worked on Apache helicopters. That's what he does for a living, working for Lear Aviation.
Battle for 4th now. Doug Hoffman and Jeff Hetzler, and Hetzler gives him a little tap.
Yeah, Hetzler has come up to challenge Doug Hoffman as they race down the back straightaway. Hetzler out of Wallkill, New York. The Reclamation Troyer car plant. Hoffman uses the 100-tilt big block Chevrolet, and the Hetzler motors come from Precision Engineering down in Middletown.
Jeff Hetzler currently 8th in Skull Bandit Racing Super Series standings, and Doug Hoffman is 10th. Both have won.
Guess who's on the move? Brett the Jet, the Budweiser, number 3, picking up spots about every lap. He now works on Hetzler as he'll slide by on the bottom, or try to slide by. Alan Johnson is right there behind him, looking for racing room as well.
Remember, Brett started in the 9th position. Now he is just moving into 5th if he's got Jeff Hetzler, but Hetzler has that outside, and let's see what happens out of turn 4. It looks like Brett Hearn has it.
Not only does he has it, but just the short ways and 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 short ways. Jim Nero in the orange number 27. That car will show on the screen momentarily. That's not Danny Johnson, but Jim Nero in his fast loop number 27. Now here's Alan Johnson making a move on the inside of Jeff Hetzler as he tries to advance in the field.
There is a look at the top 5. Jack Johnson is your race leader. The Hurricane Steve Payne is 2nd, Horton 3rd, Hoffman 4th, and Brett Hearn on the move.
All those H drivers, Hearn, Horton, and Hoffman, all running in the top 5. Here's our leader, putting a lap on Timmy Dwyer. Dwyer, a former Mr. Dirt Sportsman champion, goes a lap down, or is about to go a lap down to Jack Johnson, who drives the Dan Madsen Duchess overhead doors car this year.
Always fast here. He won this event in 91 and again in 93. He is currently running in 2nd place, the Hurricane.
The Advanced Lubricants Janelle Corporation Bicknell car. The Doug Holmes Finger Lakes Auto Machine built big block Chevrolet under the hood.
Kevin Kovac tells us Pat O'Brien was the first car out of this race. Pat O'Brien out of the race.
That's too bad. Sheldon LeGuy, the Computer Sense folks, have brought a great team, and that's a tough break for Patty O'Brien, a 6-time track champion here.
Good battle here for 5th spot.
And you don't see that happening all that often. Somebody passing Brett Hearn, and it is Alan jump inside. AJ, we got a spin as Hetzler goes around now. He was running about number 7. The yellow flag flies caution on lap number 21. Hetzler in turn number 4. Up on the top of the racetrack, nobody hit him. The caution flag flies.
So a quick spin for Jeff Hetzler, and we have the yellow flag flying on lap 21 here at Can-Am Speedway. We are live at the nasty track of the North. It was just Nancy to Jeff Hetzler. Our coverage of the FX Caprara Car Company's Summer Sizzler on Rush Hour will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Whether your car is Strawberry Pearl Coat, Santa Fe Silver, or Candy Apple Red, a PPG certified collision repair shop uses premium paint and a palette of over 100,000 colors to precisely match your car's color, whether it's champagne metallic, emerald green, or banana yellow. PPG premium paint, the right match for your car.
Look for the local PPG certified body shop in your area.
Fittipaldi and the Budweiser IndyCar. Hot enough for you?
Got places to go? Get there in style with Ford Explorer and Ford Expedition. For families on the move, Explorer never stops. It's ready to go anywhere. That's why Explorer is #1. Need something in an extra large? Expedition has seating for 9.
And more towing power than anything in its class.
Of course, they're both big on value.
Now, Ford Explorer comes with financing as low as 4.8% for 48 months.
A new sport utility from your Ford dealer will have you going places. That's why you drive a Ford.
Your car doesn't look, doesn't feel, doesn't smell brand new anymore. The thrill is gone. Get it back with new vinyl. New vinyl conditions, restores, and protects vinyl and leather. You get a protective finish and a showroom feel that's so real, you can smell it. Want it back? That new car feeling? It's yours with new vinyl.
Available at Kmart, Walgreens, Pep Boys, Western Auto Parts America, Ace Hardware, True Value, and other leading stores.
We are back live for the FX Caprara Summer Sizzler 97 from Can-Am Speedway. Jack Johnson is your leader. There's a look at the top 6. A few moments ago, Jeff Hetzler in the number 33 took a little bit of a spin. Let's take a look at the videotape replay and see how that came about in turn 3 heading into turn 4. And it's Hetzler and Danny Johnson in the vicinity, and Hetzler just seemed to lose it.
Yeah, I don't think Danny had anything to do with that one. I can't blame it. I think maybe Hetzler got on the brakes a little too hard to avoid contact, came up on him too fast, and looks at the top of the racetrack.
Now you see the number 9 of Bob McCready just a moment ago. Something very dramatic has happened concerning Bob McCready. He is out of the race. For an update, let's go into the pits and Paul Small.
Well, Doug, what happened is Barefoot Bob pulled the Kinney Drug Store's FX Caprara Syracuse frame machine into the pit area, and the right rear wheel was sitting a little bit askance. When they pulled that right rear Hoosier tire up, they found out that the rear hub had cracked. There were only 2 of the studs where the lugs go on instead of the standard 5. They're kind of looking at the car here, thinking maybe they might be able to fix it enough to get it on the trailer, but they won't get it back into the race.
Well, thank you so much. How incredible is that? You know, McCready started the back of the pack. He had moved up to the number 8 position.
Definitely going through traffic like a hot knife through butter, and son of a gun, it just happened. And we talked about the pressure that's on him, and to load it on the trailer this early, that's a tough break. There's a lot of disappointed fans here tonight.
Side by side, restart until the midway point of this race, and down the front stretch they come. It is Jack Johnson and the Hurricane Steve Payne. Good, strong move by jumping Jack Johnson.
The leader had lane choice, and he chose the bottom of the racetrack. You know why. It's working better for him as he leads them off into turn number 3. There we see Alan Johnson trying to come up on the number 4th place car. That is Jimmy Horton. Jimmy twitches just a bit. Alan is there. Danny is there, as is Timmy Fuller. So there's a good 4-way battle. It is still Horton holding on to 4. Look at Timmy Fuller trying to come right down, or excuse me, Timmy McCready come right down the middle. Look at the 23-year-old driver. That's the battle for 3rd spot now. Alan has taken over 3rd. Tim McCready will come to 4, or Willie. Jimmy Horton slips on the outside.
And Horton holds on to his position out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. We're side by side with our leaders into turn 1. Jack Johnson continues to hold the edge, and Steve Payne is trying to work down low as we go back to that battle involving McCready and Horton.
Timmy McCready has taken over the spot from Jimmy Horton, and now they almost made contact. As Horton's car got out of shape, he almost got a piece of Timmy McCready's car, but it didn't happen, and Horton will lose a couple of spots. In fact, he'll fall back as Danny Johnson will now take over position number 5. He'll work on Timmy McCready, who rides at 4. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for the lead. It's a good one. There's the third place car running all by himself. Alan Johnson just in front of him. Side by side are Jack Johnson and Steve Payne. A new leader, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Hurricane Steve Payne. He's back in front.
Steve Payne has Jack Johnson as they now move out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Alan Johnson is third as we take a look at Jack. Then McCready is 4th. 5th is Danny Johnson. 6th, Doug Hoffman. We have a battle between Brett Hearn and Jimmy Horton for the next spot.
That's for 7th. Behind them are Fuller and Decker running side by side. Here Horton, Jimmy Horton out of White House Station, New Jersey, in the Bob and Michelle Faust B&F General Machine car, holding off Brett the Jet, and Fuller, who was struggling earlier, has now come to life, and he's in the hunt of things for the number 19, the CarQuest car.
Good battles for position here.
All the way around the racetrack. They're running nose to tail, side by side. On Hearn's car, you can see how the weight transfer has gone off to the right. That may be a little too excessive here. I don't know. We'll have to watch and see what happens, but he's trying to run down Jimmy Horton as they work down the back straightaway.
27 laps in of our 97-lap race. Brett Hearn currently running in the 8th position.
Budweiser TO Pro car built by his brother Bobby down in Vernon, New Jersey. Auto Palace Budweiser Lavero Produce car. Brett the Jet, 6-time Skoal champion. Here's the leader.
Let's take a look at one more time at that pass for the lead. Payne and Jack Johnson.
Payne making it stick way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Jack backs it in just a little too hard, and Payne get a lot of bite down at turn 4. Just as easy as that. No contact whatsoever.
Now in a very, very strong move for the number 7 of the Hurricane, Steve Payne. And look at how he is up on 3 tires.
Yeah, you talk about bite. Well, that's about as much bite as you're going to get. Maybe with a sprint car you can lift both front wheels off the ground, but it didn't happen. Doug Holmes of Finger Lakes Machine certainly putting out a lot of horsepower for Steve Payne.
Payne is the only man who has repeated as a winner in this race. 2-time winner, 91 and 93. Jack Johnson running in the 2nd position.
Here's a side-by-side battle. Doug Hoffman on the outside of Jimmy Horton. Tight behind them. Hoffman takes over the number 6 spot, at least for the moment. Hoffman's so excited about his new deal for 1997. He is the defending Skoal champion. Blockbuster Video coming on board along with Mike and Ike's, and they've got a great program. Blockbuster Video car takes over position number 6. He moves around. Jimmy Horton, well, it's not over.
Horton's staying down low, but he's catching a few snags down there. It's not a real smooth ride for Jimmy.
It isn't, but apparently there's a little more bite down there. There may be a little more moisture on the bottom of the racetrack, so they continue to run side by side. Several times I thought that Hoffman had made the pass, but it doesn't happen. Battle for there's a little pitch job on the front straightaway. Again, that's the battle for the number 6 spot.
Horton and Hoffman, weekly battles on Saturday night at Bridgeport, New Jersey. You know, Can-Am Speedway is very, very special to Hoffman. His first big win in New York came right here in the early 80s, a small block race.
Doug's been running very, very well, but when you look at the final stats in these Skoal races, they're not that great, but he's been running better than the results have proven. He'd love to get another win under his belt here this evening. Here's Brett Hearn making a move on the outside, so talking about Hoffman winning, and he's got a problem now, just holding on to the number 8 spot as Hearn makes the move on the outside, and there's Timmy Fuller again, very much in hunt.
And of course, Hoffman and Hearn, the 2 combatants last year in the Skoal points picture.
Yeah, in the Skoal championship, it turned out to be Hoffman, but in the Mr. Dirt championship, it turned out to be Hearn, and that was a very close battle. And as Brett has told us in a number of interviews, every lap is so very, very important. And he drives every lap like it was the last.
So now Brett Hearn sets his sights on Jimmy Horton, who bobbles again out of turn 4. As for Brett, in 9 school races here, he has finished out of the top 5 just twice, and he has never finished a race in the pits. He has never been in the pits at the end of a race. He's always out there competing.
Some great statistics. That's a very well-prepared race team that Brett oversees. Scott LePage is the crew chief, but they got a lot of dedicated guys on the team. They come in spectacular fashion. They got a big rig, 65,000 pounds of rolling iron. Is that what they travel in? They live in it during the racing season as well.
Look at how Brett put that move on Jimmy Horton. He went in so strongly into turn 1 and carried it all the way through turn 2 and down the back straightaway. So Brett Hearn is into 6th position.
Side by side for so many laps, but and we think the bottom of the racetrack may be a bit faster, but Hearn makes it work on the outside.
38 laps in as we are just roaring around Can-Am Speedway. There's Brett Hearn in the Budweiser number 3.
Brett's dad, Gordon, and mother Kay watching TV back in New Jersey, watching their son, and Sue is home with the kids watching as well. They didn't come with them on this road trip. It's a little bit too strenuous. They've run last night and the night before all that north of here, so they've been doing a lot of racing in Canada and out here in way upstate New York.
There's Fuller and Decker, and Fuller bobbles just a little bit. Decker tries to put the move on the outside, and Pat Ward is in that battle for position as well.
That's the battle for the number 10 spot. Fuller has it, Decker wants it, but Pat Ward would take it if he had a chance, if they just open up a little bit of racetrack. Incidentally, in the car count division tonight, we have 14 Troyers, 7 Olsons, 2 Bigdells, 2 T.O. Pro cars, and 1 home built, and that home built is Pat Ward's. He does it at Dave Leif's Champ Car Shop. It's a car of his own design. Pat Ward out of Genoa, New York. His dad is the crew chief on the car, a low buck operation, but they get the most out of it.
Steve Payne is your leader. Jack Johnson second. Alan Johnson, Tim McCready, and Danny Johnson. Fuller and Hoffman going after it tooth and nail.
Side by side. All night long we've been watching side-by-side racing someplace on the racetrack. Here we go side-by-side, the Johnson brothers and Timmy McCready. Alan, the 39-year-old driver out of Rochester, New York. Danny, the 37-year-old driver. They're both originally from Rochester. And then Timmy Fuller, 23-year-old hotshot driver who won here at this track in a small block car last Saturday night, driving the Jim Beachy-owned Jeff Gordon. That's the Jeff Gordon that you know from Winston Cup Racing, Power Outlet, Toro equipment car, doing a great job with it.
And so Tim McCready tries to move in the number 4 position, but currently 3rd is Alan Johnson, 4th Danny Johnson, and then Tim McCready in the 24 is 5th.
Now, Timmy McCready doing a great job, and he talks about all of his life driving Troyer cars, but this is the Bignell car. Now, all of his racing life is all of last year, but a number of races, of course, and he drives the same brand that his dad does, Troyer, but now he's in a Bignell car. They're the Johnson brothers battling it out. Getting on the outside.
A little brotherly love in this competition.
They just love to race. Brothers or not, they forget that they know one another, but their mom and dad are watching, and they'll counsel them when they get home. But some great racing. They're coming up to lap the Billy Gill car, young driver out of Plessis, New York, which is nearby. He's a regular here in the number 60 car.
So it's 2 great racing veterans in Danny Johnson and Alan Johnson, and in there Tim McCready, the youngest driver in this field by 3 years, and he's showing so well.
23 years of age, and as I mentioned earlier, he worked all day at Lear Aircraft here at Fort Drum, repairing Apache helicopters. A little diversion, if you will. But he'd love to be a full-time racer.
Danny Johnson, number 6. Never won this race. Best finish was 2nd in 92.
Danny has won 3 Skoal races in the big block series, 2 in the small block series. He leads the small block championship after 3 races. Always a great competitor. Charlie DeAngelis, the crew chief. Ray Bramall owns the car and owns Freightliner of Newburgh. They prepare the funds that prepare this team. It's a Troyer chassis. A precision-built big block Chevrolet under the hood. They're coming up to put a lap on, I believe that 32 is Vic Coffey. Let's see, 2 32s. Coffey in his own 32 in his backup car. Assigned Frank Cozy tonight.
And we are just at the midway point of this race. Steve Payne continues to lead. Jack Johnson is second, and third place is Danny Johnson. But there is the Hurricane, Steve Payne, your race leader at Can-Am Speedway, and we have a yellow.
Caution flag flying.
Could be debris on the racetrack. We are just past the midway point of this race. 49 laps are in the books. We are live at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville, New York. And our coverage of the FX Caprara Car Company's Summer Sizzler on Rush Hour will continue on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Have you ever wondered when the track lights go out and it's time for your favorite race car driver to go home? How does he get there? We're happy to say here, folks, at FX Caprara Car Companies, many of those famous drivers have made FX Caprara their way home. That's right, drivers like Doug Hoffman, Alan Johnson, Bob McCready, Maynard Troyer, Billy Colden have made FX Caprara their winning team. But you don't have to win a race to be part of the FX Caprara family. So give us a call at 1-800-437-1334 to make FX Caprara your leading team.
The Great Outdoors RV Superstore, your Fleetwood powerhouse dealer. Over 200 Fleetwood fold-downs, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Coleman, Mallard, Prowler, Savannah. The best selection on Fleetwood motorhomes. C-Sport, Jamboree, Bounder, and Pacero. All built by Fleetwood, the world's largest RV manufacturer. Come to the Great Outdoors RV Superstore, Route 57, Fulton.
Welcome to the Nissan store. Let's look at the Maxima. Look at that. Sleek, sophisticated. Oh, your horse is a big fella. Ooh, Bose CD audio system. Leather seating surfaces, automatic temperature control. And then the finish. What'll really excite you is Maxima's 190 horsepower V6 engine. No wonder we can't keep them around.
Superstar infielder, a guy who is just spectacular to watch. When you have a good defense behind you, it's a lot of fun to pitch because you know that you have 8 guys back there who want the ball to be hit to them so they can make the out.
What can you say about Ray? He's a magician out there. Ray could be the best shortstop in the league. He does things you don't see. You know, you either have it or you don't. He has it.
Production support for Rush Hour on Dirt is provided by Access Rentals in Syracuse and Albany, New York, one of the country's largest suppliers of aerial lifts. They extend every effort to get your job done. Access Rentals. And thanks to Rick Lucas and McQuaid and Bannigan Incorporated for the temporary stadium lighting, sales, service, and rentals, pumps, generators, tools, you name it, job site delivery. Offices in Utica and Watertown.
Here's our race leader, Steve Payne. We're working lap number 52.
Well, we certainly want to tip our hats to our race sponsor tonight, FX Caprara Car Companies, with outstanding locations in Watertown, Alexandria Bay, Pulaski,
and Carthage. That's one of their used car operations. They sell about every brand of car. Frank X Caprara, Xavier Caprara, a great supporter of motorsports. His name is on the side of a lot of race cars. He's got some kids that race as well. FX Caprara Car Companies here in the Watertown, Alexandria Bay area.
And again, there is your race leader, the Hurricane, Steve Payne. Today's heat winners, Jimmy Horton, Alan Johnson, and Danny Johnson. The consolation winner, Billy Decker.
We're 54 laps in. Leader is Payne. Jack Johnson, the only other leader we've had so far. Danny Johnson is 3rd. Tim McCready is 4th. Alan Johnson runs 5. Brett Hearn is 6. Jimmy Horton is 7. Tim Fuller is 8. Then it's Doug Hoffman running 9. Dave Camara, the Camara Slate car, showing in 10. Frank Cozy runs 11. And Pat Ward rounding out the top 12 again after 54 laps. continue to operate under yellow.
Let's hear more about our great race sponsor, FX Caprara.
Charlie, FX Caprara car companies have certainly gotten heavily involved in motorsports.
Yeah, we try to be heavily involved in motorsports, Paul. In fact, the FX Caprara car company is grouped of 13 new car franchises, 5 great locations in the upstate area. And we're just a phone call away. I mean, we try to sponsor most of our local drivers, but there's a lot of guys like Bob McCready and some of the others we try to sponsor. But the participation level, Paul, of the fans, when you sponsor a great driver, it brings people in, and naturally we try to sell cars. But we definitely do love, dirt racing.
And we're back to racing here at Can-Am Speedway. Steve Payne is the leader. Jack Johnson second.
Back at third is Danny Johnson, but the leaders have about a 10-car length separation over the third-place car. Then there are a bunch of lap cars impeding the progress of Alan Johnson, Tim McCready. They go side by side, putting a lap on Steve Roberts. Jeff Sykes in car 5 about to go a lap down as well. Alan is way down on the bottom. Hearn is way up on top, and Tim McCready runs the middle of the racetrack. And they're low. Look at that, Doug. 4 wide down the front straightaway, trying to work their way around lapped cars.
Great racing competition, and Brett Hearn is just trying to slingshot around this track.
There's where experience pays off. The guys with the experience going around the outside, Hearn takes over the number 5 spot as Alan Johnson runs at 4, Hearn is in 5, and Timmy McCready trying to pick up a spot as he continues to work around the lap car, of Jeff Sykes.
And Fuller is right there as well. There's Dave Camara in the number 26.
Jeff Sykes certainly getting his share of TV time as he runs the lap car here. Here comes Jimmy Horton around the outside. He'll pick up a spot as the Fuller car lost some ground on the bottom of the racetrack. Camara picks up a spot as well. The Camara Slate Express of David Camara out of Pulteney, Vermont picks up a position.
Earlier, Horton was taking that low groove, and now he's switched to the outside.
Yeah, the race lane will change all night long, and of course, part of the reason for going to the outside is the lap cars are down on the bottom. Jimmy Horton running in the 9th spot, and that's again, you got to figure out where the racetrack is working best and also where the other guys are not running. So you got to work it all out, Doug, and they got their hands full for sure.
And speaking of working it out, let's see what they're working out. Here's Cowboy Paul Small.
Well, so far on the racetrack, the Hurricane Steve Payne has probably got a big smile on his face after that yellow flag. Their car was starting to drop just a little bit. He's on the soft tires at the front of the field, so getting the tires cooled down was certainly an advantage for the Hurricane. Now, Brett Hearn's car looks like it's rolling over on the right rear just a little bit too much. That's deliberate, according to Scott Lagasse, Hearn's crew chief for the Budweiser number 3. They're trying to transfer more weight to the right rear so they can get a little bit better bite with the slick track conditions. And as for the Duchess 87 of Jack Johnson, you can see a lot of times during the green flag sessions, he's been sticking that car down to the bottom. He's on the soft tires trying to conserve them. He also says that he can't pass Payne on the outside.
Well, now here's Brett Hearn trying to pass Alan Johnson on the outside, and Brett's giving away a lot of track going that high in the turns.
Yeah, he is, but again, as I was just describing earlier, you got to go where the other guy isn't, so Alan is the basement dweller right now, running the extreme bottom of the racetrack, so if Hearn's going to make the pass, he's got to do it on the outside. And again, things will change, and when you're running as fast as you can and you can hear somebody coming behind you, you got to figure either they got a whole lot better car or where they're running on the racetrack is better, and so maybe Alan will go up on top. We'll see how this plays out.
Alan in 4th, Brett Hearn in 5th. Race leader continues to be Steve Payne. Good speed shot there in the front straightaway as these cars just come roaring down the front straightaway and then slide it into turn 1.
This is incredible, and in speed camera or not, I don't think the real appreciation for speed is picked up on television because these guys are really blistering around this racetrack. Well over 100-mile-an-hour average. They scrub off a little bit of speed in the corners, but they're going about 120 miles an hour down the front straightaway when that camera picks up on that speed shot. There we see the coffee car that was Cozy in that one. So the coffee cars with Cozy and coffee in them. Cars 32C, both of them the Super Plus cars.
Cozy currently running in the 9th spot. He left the Rick Grasso Jr. team after last Thursday's race at Brewerton. Called it a mutual agreement.
Yeah, they had started out the season with so much promise. They'd spent a lot of money. They won a couple of races early on, but then things just went south on them. And it wasn't anybody's fault. Just a myriad of things and all going the wrong ways. they decided to call it a day. And what a ride he's having here. He's having here tonight. He picked this ride up, incidentally, yesterday afternoon. Billy Colt helping him out, find a ride, and Coffey had a spare car, so he said, why not? I was going to take it anyway. So Big Coffey, young driver out of Leicester, New York. He was the Rookie of the Year in modified racing last year. He loans it to Cozy, who's got a lot of laps, and I'm sure that this could be a relationship born in Troyerland.
Steve Payne, who won last week's Skoll race at Autodrome Granby in Quebec, drove his Quebec-based car, set up a huge party among the team's 9 owners, and he continues to lead with Jack Johnson second, and there's the number 6 of Danny Johnson in third.
And Danny is closing in on the leaders. There's only about a 3-car length separation between Danny and Jack Johnson. No relation there. It's Danny and Alan that are brothers. Alan runs in the number 4 spot with the Jim Bobar, number 12B.
70 laps in. Just 27 laps to go in our race.
And Timmy McCready is losing a position to Tim Fuller. That's the battle for the number 6 spot. Fuller, who was up front early, faded back, and I think he even fell out of the top 10. Now takes over the number 6 spot. He'll try to run down Brett Hearn, who's running in position number 5. We've just been informed over the radio that Doug Hoffman's assessment is the tire selection didn't make any difference. You put your car on the top, and the hard ones are working, or the soft ones are working, and the bottom, the hard ones are working, or whichever way it works out. But Doug Hoffman says tire selection was not a factor, so everybody's happy with their tires. At least Doug thinks they all ought to be happy. Here we come back to the front of the pack. Jack Johnson, perennial champion from Honda Speedway, looking to the inside of Steve Payne. We've had only 2 leaders. Payne led the first lap, then Jack Johnson took over for a while. Then you saw the power move that Payne made on the bottom of turn number 3 and 4 to make the pass. He's been up front since that time. We're now working lap number 74.
And on the outside, the number 91 of Decker, but there's your battle. Steve Payne, Jack Johnson. Jack won last Monday at Autodrome Drummond. His first Skoll win since 1994. Payne finished second in the Skoll 358 race just last night at Autodrome Edelweiss. Kenny Tremont won that event.
And that was a win that Tremont needed so badly. I'm not sure if Kenny, yes, he's still on the racetrack, but Kenny's been struggling with his big block car so very, very hard. He drove all the way back to West Sand Lake after the races last night, got home at about 7 o'clock this morning. Then they went to work on the big block car, had to leave home about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We talked to the head of the program about heat being a factor. Well, that's the heat of this battle as they chase races all over the Northeast and in pursuit of those wins. And so it's so good that Tremont was able to get that win last night.
As we take a look at the battle for the lead, they're your top 5, and Tim Fuller is in 5th. But look at how the top 2 and even the top 3 competitors are now running much more closely on the racetrack.
They certainly are. There's a little bit of hole in turn number 2, maybe upsetting the cars just a little bit. Now, the interesting thing about Fuller taking over 5 is that Hearn went back to 6, so Fuller passed Hearn, and that doesn't happen all that often. So something apparently amiss with the Hearn Budweiser car.
Quite a battle for the lead between Steve Payne and Jack Johnson. For more on the story, with 20 laps remaining in our race, down to Paul Small.
I tell you what, this is an interesting battle because both Payne and Jack Johnson's crews are both kind of sitting here shrugging their shoulders. Payne hasn't said anything from the race car as to why Jack Johnson is catching up. Jack is related to his crew that his tires are starting to go away. Payne's crew is assuming that maybe Jack's found a better line on the racetrack that's allowing him to get a little bit closer. So it's almost like these two are battling without even really trying to battle, Doug.
Well, they got another battle coming, and they haven't talked about that, and that's Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson now about 2 car lengths behind Jack Johnson. That's will be the battle for the number 2 spot here momentarily.
There they are, your race leaders, 1, 2, and 3 down the front straightaway.
Eddie Walters calling the action. He's the crew chief for Steve Payne, and they've made their tire selection. Of course, they're not going to change it now. Tom Greco, crew chief for Jack Johnson. Charlie DeAngelis, the crew chief for Danny Johnson. Those are your top 3 cars, and Danny is the fastest of the bunch right now.
Yeah, Payne has pulled away a little bit from Jack Johnson, but here's Danny right with Jack.
Danny caught Jack, and now he's going to try to make the pass on the outside. So Daring Dan, the stock car man, father of 3, his little boy Danny Jr. watching it on TV back in Rochester. We got a couple of girls, and then Danny Jr. came along. Alan, incidentally, has a couple of girls. So looked for a while like there weren't going to be any boys in this generation of the Johnsons, but Danny came through for him, and there's a Danny Jr. back in Rochester.
Johnson continues to hang on to second place, but Danny Johnson is closing in on the number 6.
That's Big Coffee going a lap down. Here is our race leader. There's the second place car, Jack Johnson. Leader Steve Payne putting a lap on Kenny Tremont. We talked about Tremont earlier. The driver in the Emmerich Associates 415 goes a lap down. Danny now goes to the bottom of the racetrack. How about that? Changing lanes. Let's see how that plays out. They have radio communication. Charlie DeAngelis is apparently telling him to try the bottom. Maybe Danny's figured it out for himself. We've got 15 laps to go. The Hurricane, Steve Payne, and the Janelle Corporation Advanced Lubricants McNell car showing the way as he's done most of this race.
He now has a 2-second advantage, and Danny Johnson, after closing out the back bumper and actually getting a nose in on Jack Johnson, has fallen back just a bit. It's one thing to catch someone, it's something very different to pass them.
That's right. And Danny changed lanes. He went from the top to the bottom, and there you see the separation on the racetrack. So I think the top is working better for Danny. Maybe burning up the tires, had to go to the bottom, move off or whatever. We'll see how that plays out here in the next 15 laps.
Back in the pack, battle for 11th position, Pat Ward and Jimmy Horton. Horton hasn't raced here as much as some of the others. He's only run this race the last 2 years. He finished 3rd last year. Looking for a top 10 finish. He's got some work ahead of him.
He's the hired gun this year for Bob Faust, the owner of the M1 car. John Finch owns Pat Ward's car. We talked about Pat designed it and built it, but he did it with John Finch's money. Finch operates a logging and trucking business down in southern New York, and out of Genoa, New York. Horton, he knows his way around every racetrack in the country. He's run on the big miles and the 2.5 mile. He's been involved in some of the most vicious crashes in NASCAR Winston Cup history. Out of the ballpark at Talladega a couple of years ago.
What a crash
that was incredible. Then in an ARCA race at Talladega, everybody thought he was certainly injured, and it wasn't the case. But now he's doing all of his racing on dirt. Bob Faust has hired a great talent. Here's the battle for 4th place, and Cozy, what a story here. Cozy in the 32. I'm sorry, that's the coffee car. So the battle for 4 is Alan Johnson at 4. Running 5 is Tim Fuller. So that's the coffee car going a lap down.
So Alan Johnson currently has the spot, 4th position. 5th is Fuller, and he's working around lap traffic. We have 10 laps remaining. We're flying through this race at Can-Am.
So just a couple of very brief cautions. One for the spin of Hetzo, the other for debris, and that's all we've had all race long. 88 laps have been completed. Alan Johnson trying to hold off a hard-charging Timmy Fuller. Now, Fuller has become a full-time race car driver the last couple of years. In fact, this past winter, he went down and ran in Australia down under. Right now, he's down under, trying to move around A.J. Slideways, who closes the door on him.
Oh, yeah, he slammed the door on him.
Yeah, he did. They're both trying to be basement dwellers in this one, and they're going to run as low as they possibly can.
Final stages of our FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler from Can-Am International Speedway in LaFargeville. We're just south of the Thousand Islands. Beautiful resort area here in northern New York.
Took a ride on the boat in the Thousand Islands this afternoon.
Did you?
Diversion, yeah. It's a great day. We've got 7 laps to go, and car 7 is the leader. That's the Hurricane Steve Payne out of Waterloo, New York. Eddie Waller's the crew chief. It's a McNell chassis. Doug Holmes, Finger Lakes Auto Machine engine, and it's really working. Jack Johnson rides in 2.
And you see the interval, 3 seconds. Steve Payne, a very comfortable lead, and then there's quite a gap back to the 3rd spot held by Danny Johnson.
Those top 3 are running all by themselves. No battle anywhere there.
The battle comes back then for the 4th position, and Fuller was involved along with Alan Johnson. Fuller has 4th.
Fuller gets a spot. Alan falls back to ride at 5 as they're working the lap car of Kenny Tremont as we speak.
5 laps to go.
Tim Fuller looked like he was going the wrong way on a racetrack here early on. He went from the front row to the back. I think it was around about 12 spots, but then they went back to the front.
Hey, how about Steve Payne? Won last week at Granby. He's looking for his 3rd win in this school race here at Can-Am.
The only other driver to have won it twice is Doug Hoffman. There is the 2nd place car, Jack Johnson, splitting the lap cars of Bobby Barron in the 111, and it was the Jeff Sykes car down on the bottom. Barron, the Fred Tanner, number 111, giving Jack Johnson lots of room, but he's running fast on the outside. Jack can't get away.
Perhaps the fastest man on the racetrack right now could be Fuller.
It could be, but he's never going to catch the leaders with 3 laps to go. Payne runs up front with a comfortable advantage. Fuller has been impressive for sure. The Carquest Olsen car.
And starter Chip Burdick gives the signal to the Hurricane. 2 laps to go. 2 laps remaining in the Summer Sizzler.
Steve Payne putting a look at this. Payne has caught Jimmy Horton. That's what all this green flag racing will do for you. I don't know exactly where Horton's running right now, but he's someplace in the top 10, I suspect. He's about to go a lap down the leader with white flag flying. 1 lap to go.
All right, let's watch our leader, Steve Payne, smoothly into turn 1. He's got a good, comfortable lead into turn 2. Now he'll roar down the back straightaway. And the radio word is he is clear. Into turn 3. Now turn 4, then down the front straightaway. And Steve Payne is the winner of the FX Compara Car Company Summer Sizzler at Can-Am Speedway. Jack Johnson is second. Third
Johnson
is Danny Johnson.
Fuller comes home in 4. Finishing 5 will be Jack Johnson. Just inches behind him in 6 is Timmy McCready.
And like the conversation went on the radio, the drive of your life. Congratulations to the Hurricane, Steve Payne. We are live at Can-Am Speedway, and our coverage on Rush Hour will continue after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Sportswear Direct presents their summer collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless denims embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide Tee for men and women, available in all sizes. TV fans, the Rush Hour tees are in. Don't wait on these, they're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free Rush Hour hat.
Hi, I'm Bobby Labonte. On race day, we have a team of mechanics to keep our car running. Unfortunately, I can't get all these guys to follow me around when I drive my personal car. That's why I have an Easy Care vehicle service contract. It covers all major repairs on my car from the engine to the tires. Easy Care is the best service contract you can get. So make sure you ask your dealer for Easy Care protection for your car or truck.
This is cellular.
This is OmniPoint.
This is OmniPoint. This is OmniPoint.
Introducing OmniPoint, a 100% digital system so advanced there's absolutely no static.
No static.
And so superior there's no contract.
No contract.
Molly, wanna... OmniPoint, 100% digital, 0% hassle.
Call 1-888-BUY-OMNI now for this introductory offer.
What's on your A&P shopping list? How about some of the best players in women's tennis? Be sure to check out the A&P Tennis Classic, Saturday and Sunday at 7:30 p.m., right here on Sports Channel. Leave your engines running and stay tuned for more Thunder Road Thursday. It's right here, only on Sports Channel.
The house that Brent the Jet Hearn built, where he cut his teeth and sharpened his skills, scoring over 200 feature event wins and 16 track championships along the way. Whether you love him or whether you hate him, Brent the Jet is coming home to Orange County Fair Speedway, and you'll see it live next Thursday night on Rush Hour.
Steve Payne has just racked up his 8th career Skoal Series win. He beats Jack Johnson. Danny Johnson finishes 3rd, then Tim Fuller, Alan Johnson, and Tim McCready, the top 6. And we'll head down to Victory Lane and Paul Small.
Hurricane Steve Payne, you blew away this field tonight.
Well, yeah, the car was really hooked up. You know, we went out in hot laps with hard tires on and a setup we usually run, and the car was really bad. And, you know, I was going to change the setup and the tires, and the crew said just change the tires, leave the car alone, and that's what we did. And, you know, they won the race for me. They drew the number for the starting spot, and that helps. And, you know, everything went our way tonight.
Now, how tough is it when you go out to run a heat race and the car isn't right? How hard is it for you to keep calm to get the car set up for the feature?
Well, at a place like this, it's usually the same every time we come here. But tonight, you know, it had everybody guessing to run hard tires, and I'm terrible on hard tires every time I run them. So we just put the softs back on, and we didn't touch a bolt on the car all night, and that was all we needed to do. It just, you know, half the guys run hards, half run softs, and the hard guys were wrong for once.
Tell me about getting Jack Johnson for the lead.
He restarted on the outside. We were good on the bottom, and he got me for a lap after the caution. But then, you know, I got down inside him out of 4, and then once I got the lead, I could run a nice momentum lap, and the car was real smooth. I could run top, bottom, middle, and he kind of had to run one line, it looked to me like, and, you know, so our car was real good tonight.
I'm thinking you're starting to like this place a lot by now.
Oh, yeah, it's always been good to us every time we've been here since we've been coming here, and I don't know why. It just is.
Congratulations. Fantastic win tonight.
Thanks a lot. I'd like to thank all the sponsors and all the crew, and, you know, it was a good race.
The Hurricane Steve Payne was certainly the hottest driver on a humid night here at the Can-Am Speedway.
Yeah, he really was something, wasn't he, Gary?
Yeah, he was a hurricane here tonight. We almost had a hurricane. There was a lot of bad weather all around us, but not here. But the hurricane strikes in great fashion.
All right, there's Steve Payne getting out of the car, and I'll tell you, he is a happy, happy guy. The Hurricane Steve Payne, the winner of our FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler at Can-Am Speedway. Our coverage will continue on Rush Hour after these messages. This is the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
The two cars touch. Oh, my goodness. 3 wide out of turn 4.
Danny Johnson is second, and the battle rages down the backstretch.
Now McCready goes up over the berth. It goes over.
Denny Tremont is Mr. Dirt Track USA.
Pandemonium in this victory lane.
And Doug Hoffman is the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Your racing transportation headquarters is right here at FX Caprara. Folks, not only do we have 13 new car franchises in 6 great locations, but have you ever wondered, how are you going to get to the races this weekend? How about in a conversion van? Or maybe in a dually to take your car to the track? What do you think of a 4x4 extended cab pickup? Or while you're staying at the track, how about sleeping in a travel trailer? But most of all, everything is for sale here at FX Caprara. Just don't tell Bob.
Honey, pinch me.
Return to your senses in Florida. Each year, the average American works 50.5 hours a week, puts in 336 hours of carpool, spends 182 hours doing yard work, and walks the family pet 730 times. If you're going to work that hard, shouldn't your vacation? Call for a free visitor guide and information on our $104 St. Petersburg Clearwater Busch Gardens vacation package. And let your money work hard, too.
Don't forget, every Skull Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series event on Rush Hour is a qualifier for the richest race on dirt, the Syracuse 300 during Super Dirt Week 26 of the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. Last year, Mr. Dirt Brett Hearn's misfortune helped pave the way for Doug Hoffman's Syracuse 300 win and Skull Series Points Championship. Plan to be part of this spectacle of speed. Super Dirt Week 26, October 7th through the 12th. And make sure you call now. The tickets are going very, very quickly. Area code 315-834-6606. You'll never see anything like it. And remember, the official supplier of Dirt Motorsports apparel is Bob Hilbert Sportswear. There's a number to call for more information. Rush Hour on Dirt Apparel, furnished by Bob Hilbert Sportswear, 610-367-6186. And visit their website. Let's go down to Paul Small.
Doug with the second place finisher tonight in the Duchess 87, Jumpin' Jack Johnson. Jack, you had Steve early, then he got by, and it seemed like you just couldn't catch him from there.
Steve was running real well. I had a good 10-lap race car. I felt good for 10 laps. The car started fading. The track's greased up a little bit, and I was having a hard time keeping the car under me. Hey, we'll take second anytime here with a caliper cars like we got here tonight.
Now, your crew told us in the last 15 laps or so that your tires were pretty much shot, but you started to actually close in on Steve there at one point.
I think Steve was just probably conserving his lead and his tires. He had a radio, so I'm sure he knew right where I was, and he did a heck of a job tonight.
Now, a couple of weeks ago at Rolling Wheels, when the track was a little bit abrasive, you gambled, ran the soft tires, got a top 3. Tonight, the track kind of similar, and the same thing happens again. You seem to do real well in conditions like this.
Well, we just guessed right tonight. Timmy Fuller runs here regularly, and he says he would probably go with soft tires, so I took a shot not knowing the racetrack that well, and it worked out well for us tonight.
You know, for a guy who claims that he doesn't know the racetrack very well, you seem to do very well here.
Well, we usually miss a setup. Tonight we hit on it pretty good, and we were lucky to finish second. I mean, you got a lot of good race cars here, and yeah, I'm happy with second tonight.
Jumpin' Jack Johnson, your second place finisher in tonight's FX Caprera Summer Sizzler.
Yeah, and Jack made reference to Timmy Fuller, and a significant night for Timmy.
It certainly was. He runs here on a regular basis, but with a small block car. This is a small block track, so Timmy Fuller doesn't have a lot of laps here in a big block. A great run for him.
And he wins the qualifier for the Syracuse 300 in Super Dirt Week in October, and the Syracuse 300. All right, a new addition to our Rush Hour Live broadcast, our internet question of the week. Bob McCready is the defending Skoal Super Dirt Modified winner here at Can-Am. What year did he record his first win at Can-Am? And the answer is 1975, a small block modified division race. And thank you all so much for tuning in to our website, www.dirtmotorsports.com. And our winner tonight out of Accord, New York. The results from tonight's FX Caprera Car Company's Summer Sizzler. The winner again, the Hurricane, Steve Payne, as he continues to pose for the pictures. Jack Johnson second. Then Danny Johnson with a strong showing. He finished third.
Timmy Fuller gets fourth. Alan Johnson 5. And the sensational young driver Timmy McCready comes home in the number 6 position.
Also a very strong performance for Tim McCready. Dave Camara 7th. Brett Hearn 8th. Frank Cozy 9th.
There's a great story. Frank Cozy, a great run for Cozy to come in 9th. Doug Hoffman gets 10th. Pat Ward 11th. And Jeff Hetzler, who's been having a great year, but not that great, finishes in the number 12 spot.
Continuing on, Jimmy Horton 13th. Billy Wilcox 14th. And Bobby Varon 15th.
Kenny Tremont struggles a little bit, but gets 16th tonight. Billy Decker 17th. And Jeff Sykes, a local runner, comes home in position number 18.
And if you're wondering where Bob McCready finished up, well, he started outside the last row, 26th starting position, got up to 8th, but then was sidelined with car problems. Again, the Hurricane Steve Payne is the winner of our race tonight in the Skoal Series. We are live at Can-Am Speedway, and our coverage will continue after this.
Presents their summer collection, featuring ladies' sleeveless downs embroidered with the Dirt logo. Hot off the press, it's the Dirt Modified Mudslide tee for men and women, available in all sizes. RV fans, the rush hour tees are in. Don't wait on these. They're going fast. And don't forget about your favorite driver tees, too. Place any order over $25 and receive a free rush hour hat.
Think you're tough?
Yeah!
Think you're tough?
Yes, sir!
Are you tough? Tough enough to take the Tough Oil Challenge? Only Tough Oil is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most efficient lubricant. Tough Oil reduces the surface friction in your car's engine, so you keep going and going. The competition? They're left in their own smoke. Are you up to the Tough Oil Challenge? Nothing's tougher than Tough Oil.
Myrtle Beach, you won't believe it now. And now Myrtle Beach Jet Express announces a great summer sale, our 4-pack special. This summer, buy 3 round-trip tickets to Myrtle Beach and get the 4th one free. Call 1-800-BUN-TUCSON and fly nonstop from New York to Myrtle Beach from only $79. And now buy 3 tickets and get 1 free. You won't believe everything the new Myrtle Beach has to offer. This year, have an unbelievable vacation with Myrtle Beach Jet Express. Call 1-800-BUN-TUCSON today.
He established himself as one of the best hitters in the National League. Never seems to amaze you when he gets up there how he makes contact and finds a way to get on base. And then it's just great to watch him, especially when he hits those triples to run the bases.
Buckle up for more Thursday Thunder Road on Sports Channel. This Week in NASCAR is coming up next.
Now that you are fully in tune with our website on Dirt, how about getting yourself a mouse pad for just $10? This beautiful Dirt Motorsports mouse pad is available. Call 1-800-979-DIRT. Visa and MasterCard accepted. Radio communications provided to Rush Hour and Dirt Motorsports by Midstate Communications, providing reliable, customized paging service and complete communication systems for race teams and racing fans. Midstate Communications, the official supplier of radio communications for Dirt Motorsports. Well, our winner here at Can-Am Speedway was the Hurricane Steve Payne, but we have another winner standing by as well because Danny Johnson is the new Skoal points leader. He's down on the track now with Cowboy Paul Small.
Danny, at the top of the show, you mentioned that you were taking a gamble on the tires. You were up in the hunt all night.
Yeah, I think we made the right choice of tires. We just, I think we had the car set up a little bit too loose and needed to tighten it up a little bit. But, you know, we did a great job getting up to third, and, you know, we're pretty happy with that.
Towards the end of the race, you actually caught up to and almost passed Jack Johnson.
Yeah, we got close to him and Steve both, but, you know, it's just whoever got the better line going through the corners was able to pull ahead. And like I said, I think we were just a little bit loose, needed to tighten up a little bit, but, you know, everything worked really well for us. I tell you, it's been a great car for us and a great season so far.
And to cap things off, this third-place finish puts you in the lead in the Skoal Bandit point series.
Yeah, we're real happy about that. So, you know, we're looking forward to the next race.
Now, what's the difference between this year and last year for you on the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series?
Well, there's really not a whole lot different. We got a new crew chief, and, you know, he's been preparing the cars really well, doing a great job, and just everything's gelling together for us. And, you know, just, you know, we got a lot of help from Troyer and Precision Engines, and just the guys that are working on the car, keeping the car together for 97 laps. It makes all the difference in the world.
All smiles from Dr. J. Danny Johnson with a third-place finish tonight.
Well, why not? Because, as you mentioned, he is now atop the Skoal points picture.
He was a champion of the series back in 1992, but it's been a long spell. Here we see Danny on top. We started the race with Danny in third, so he advances a couple of spots. We had 4 drivers with just a 30-point separation. We now have changed the deal there a lot. We did 2 guys on top with Hearn just 11 points out of the lead.
Then it's Bob McCready third and Jimmy Horton fourth. A little distance, though, between Brett Hearn and Bob McCready, as you mentioned. Jack Johnson still running a strong fifth. And look at there, Steve Payne now up to sixth and just 1 point behind Jack Johnson after 11 races.
The second half of the top 12 finds Alan Johnson, Tim McCready, Tim Fuller, Doug Hoffman, the defending champion of the series, again, we may add, Jeff Hetzler and Billy Decker rounding out the top 12.
So a look at the Skoal Bandit Racing Super Dirt Series point picture after 11 of our 18 Skoal Tour events. We are live at the nasty track of the North, Can-Am Speedway in Lafargeville. And our coverage of the FX Caprara Car Company Summer Sizzler on Rush Hour will continue after these messages on the Dirt Motorsports Television Network.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top quality CarQuest shocks and struts, professional technicians choose CarQuest gas-charged shocks and struts because they can be confident they're installing the best ride around. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
The two cars touch. Oh, my goodness. 3 wide on a turn 4. Danny Johnson is second, and the battle rages down the backstretch. Now McCready goes up over the berth. And over. Kenny Tremont is Mr. Dirt Track USA. It is pandemonium in this victory lane. And Doug Hoffman is the winner of the Silver Anniversary Phase 300.
Rush Hour on Dirt.
A Lube Express drive-through lube center offers consumers a full-service oil change in just 10 minutes, and no appointment is ever needed. Your Lube Express technicians are fully certified to ensure your complete satisfaction. In just 10 minutes, Lube Express will change your oil and filter, grease the entire chassis, top up all fluids, plus perform these other valuable services. Remember, all work at Lube Express is 100% warranty approved.
Visit the Lube Express store in your area at Bergenfield, Cedar Grove, Edison, Greenbrook, Phillipsburg, and South Plainfield.
Rush Hour on Dirt has been brought to you in part by Easy Care Extended Service Contracts, Top Oil Engine Treatment, Budweiser, the King of Beer, Bob Hilbert Sportswear, Midstate Communications, Hoosier Racing Tires, Sunoco A-Plus Mini Markets, and by CarQuest Auto Parts. Welcome to the pros, CarQuest. Doug Logan along with Gary Montgomery back at Can-Am Speedway, and there's the top 6 finishers of our Summer Sizzler 97. The Hurricane's Steve Payne wins this race for the 3rd time in his great career.
Jack Johnson, Danny Johnson, Tim Fuller, impressive run for Fuller. He gets a spot at Syracuse. Alan Johnson and Timmy McCready, the top 6.
All right, down trackside, Paul Small. Paul, who do you have?
Driver of the Budweiser number 3, Brett Hearn. Brett, in 8th place finish tonight. Seemed like the car was just a little bit off.
Well, the car was pretty good. The mistake we made tonight, we went with the hard tires again. You know, that's worked for us in the past, and the track was really dry in the heat race tonight. We thought it would work, but the clay here at Can-Am is very, very pure. And as the track went on in the feature, it glazed more than it got abrasive. And once the tires sealed up, it was like being on an ice skating rink.
Tim Fuller finished in the 4th spot in the CarQuest number 19. And Tim, you've got to be tickled getting the Syracuse spot this early in the year. Now you don't have to worry about it until October.
Yeah, it's definitely an insurance plan, you know, to go into Syracuse with a spot already. But, you know, I started 3rd here, and this dirt racing makes everything interesting. You know, the lanes aren't the same from one lap to the next. And, you know, I chose wrong in the beginning, and I faded. And CarQuest 19, you know, I had to struggle back from 10th. So, you know, I'm happy with 4th, yeah.
The ups and downs of dirt modified racing in the summertime. There's nothing quite like it, guys.
We'll see you next week at Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York for the CarQuest 97. For Gary Montgomery and Paul Small, Doug Logan, thank you for joining us. So long for now.